Okay, get this. Imagine charging your electric car, like, as fast as filling up a gas tank.
Crazy, right?
That's exactly the future QuantumScape is working on, and it's why we're diving deep into their world today.
Yeah, they're really laser focused on this next generation of batteries.
Yes, solid-state lithium-metal batteries specifically for electric vehicles.
Big stuff.
And their stock's been a bit of a wild ride.
Oh, yeah.
You know, dropping a staggering 96% from its peak.
Wow.
But here's the thing, though. They're also making some really impressive strides with their technology.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, are we looking at, like, a risky gamble here or a chance to get in early on something huge?
The ground floor of a revolution, potentially.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to try to figure out today.
Unpack it all.
What's really interesting about QuantumScape, right, is that they're not just tinkering with existing tech.
No.
They're developing a whole new type of battery.
From the ground up.
This isn't just, science fiction.
No.
They're actually making, real progress.
Tangible results, yeah.
So to really get a handle on this, we've gathered a mountain of information for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Research reports, financial analysis, even insights from, like, the Motley Fool.
All the good stuff.
We're going to break it all down.
Absolutely.
And help you figure out if QuantumScape has that millionaire-maker potential.
That's the dream, right?
That's the dream.
I think it's important to start with the big picture here.
Yeah, for sure.
The electric vehicle market, it's booming, it's exploding, but it's not, without its issues.
Right.
Charging times are like a major pain point.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, range anxiety, it's real.
Oh, it's real.
So if QuantumScape can actually deliver what they're promising, they could solve some of the biggest problems that are holding EVs back.
The hurdles, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get into their solution.
Yeah, let's dive in.
These solid-state batteries,
Right.
What makes them so different? And why are they such a big deal?
Well, think of it this way.
Okay.
Current EV batteries, they're kind of like messy liquids, sloshing around.
Okay.
QuantumScape's solid-state batteries, they're much tighter.
Okay.
They're more organized.
Gotcha.
Which allows them to pack in a lot more energy.
Okay.
And charge way faster.
Gotcha.
So this means EVs could potentially drive a lot farther on a single charge.
Yeah.
And juice up in a fraction of the time.
Right.
It's a potential game changer.
So you're saying no more hanging out at charging stations for an hour?
Ideally, no.
Sign me.
Right.
But how much farther could we actually drive with these, with these new batteries?
Well, we could be looking at like double the range.
Wow.
Compared to traditional lithium-ion batteries.
Okay.
Imagine driving from, let's say, New York to Chicago.
Yeah.
Without stopping to recharge.
That's incredible.
That's the kind of freedom these batteries could give us.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But hold on a tech. What about safety?
Okay.
I've heard, some scary stories about lithium-ion batteries overheating.
Oh, yeah?
Are these solid-state batteries any safer?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Safety's obviously a huge deal,
yeah.
Especially with EVs becoming so popular.
Right.
The good news is solid-state batteries are much less likely to overheat.
Okay.
And catch fire.
Gotcha.
Which is, a major concern with current lithium-ion tech.
Yeah.
So, yes, they're inherently safer.
Okay, so we've got increased range.
Right.
Super fast charging.
Yep.
And improved safety.
Check.
This is starting to sound pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But how do we know QuantumScape can actually make this happen?
Well,
are there any signs that this isn't just hype?
They've got some serious backing.
Okay.
Volkswagen, one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world,
yeah.
has invested over $300 million in QuantumScape.
Wow.
And they're not just throwing money at it.
Right.
They formed a joint venture to mass-produce these batteries.
Okay.
That's a huge vote of confidence.
Wow. Volkswagen putting their weight behind this, that's a big deal.
It's massive.
So they must be pretty convinced that this technology is legit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just the investment.
Okay.
Volkswagen's battery division, PowerCo.
Yeah.
They've already put QuantumScape's batteries through rigorous testing.
Oh, wow.
You want to know the results of those tests?
You bet I do. Give me the good stuff.
All right, so get this.
Yeah.
These batteries can apparently withstand over 300,000 miles of use.
What?
To put that into perspective, that's roughly 12 trips around the world.
12 trips around the world? That's incredible.
It's a lot of miles.
So it sounds like they really have got something special here.
They could.
But are they actually making progress towards, like, getting these batteries into cars?
Yes.
Or is this all still just in the lab?
They're making moves.
Okay.
QuantumScape has already shipped out what they call B0 sample cells.
Okay.
To potential customers.
Gotcha.
This is a big step towards, commercialization.
Right.
They're not just theorizing, they're actually building.
They're putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly.
That's good to hear.
And their next goal is to ramp up to larger scale production
Okay.
with B1 samples later this year.
Gotcha.
So they're really aiming to get these batteries out there.
Okay, it all sounds incredibly promising.
It does.
But let's be real here. QuantumScape isn't actually selling anything yet, right?
No, you're right.
Okay.
They're still pre-revenue,
Okay.
meaning they're still very much in the development phase.
Right.
Now, for you, as a potential investor, this is important because it makes this a long-term play.
Yeah.
Analysts are predicting that QuantumScape could be making serious money by 2028.
Okay.
But that's still a few years away.
So patience is key here.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, how are they keeping the lights on?
yeah,
Developing this kind of technology. I mean, it can't be cheap.
you're telling me it's a
Right.
costly endeavor.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they're not completely strapped for cash.
Okay, good.
Remember that deal with Volkswagen's power comp?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they recently received a $130 million prepayment of royalties as part of that agreement.
Oh, wow.
So this gives them a runway until 2028,
Okay.
which you'll notice aligns quite nicely with those analyst predictions
Yeah.
for when the market will really take off.
Right. So they've got some breathing room to keep developing their tech.
Yeah,
But let's not forget about the competition.
of course not.
I'm guessing QuantumScape isn't the only player in this game.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right.
This is a hot space.
Yeah.
And other big companies are also working on solid-state battery tech.
Right.
Toyota, for example, has been researching this for years.
Yeah.
And NIO is making waves in the EV space as well.
Okay, so it's not a guaranteed win for QuantumScape.
No,
They've got some serious competition to contend with.
definitely.
But let's be honest, the question on everyone's mind is...
Could this actually make you a millionaire?
Exactly. That's the big question we're trying to answer here.
The million-dollar question.
So let's get them to brass tacks here.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, could this actually happen?
Uh-huh.
Could QuantumScape really make millionaires out of, early investors?
Well, hypothetically, yes.
Okay.
But as with any investment, there are risks involved.
Right.
Let's crunch some numbers.
Yeah.
Just to kind of help illustrate this point.
Okay.
So let's say you invested like $10,000 today,
Okay.
and QuantumScape achieved the growth needed for you to reach that $1 million mark, right?
Yeah.
Your investment would need to grow by about 58% annually
Wow.
for a decade.
Okay, 58% a year
Yeah.
for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a moonshot.
It is.
It really makes you realize like how much growth is needed
A lot.
to achieve those those millionaire dreams.
It is, yeah.
Exactly, while the potential is there.
For sure.
And it's certainly exciting to think about.
Of course.
There's no guarantee
Right.
that QuantumScape will actually achieve that level of success.
Exactly.
It's a gamble.
It is?
And any smart investor needs to be aware of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not a sure thing,
No,
but the payoff could be huge.
Yeah.
Classic high-stakes scenario.
for sure.
I gotta ask, though, what would you be watching closely if you were considering like investing in QuantumScape?
Mm.
What are the biggest, red flags, so to speak?
Well, I think for starters, I'd be looking for clear signs of progress towards mass production.
Okay.
Sure, they've hit some milestone, like those B0 sample cells.
Right.
But can they actually scale up
Right.
to meet the demands of, a giant like Volkswagen?
Yeah.
I mean, going from a handful of samples to millions of batteries,
Yeah.
that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. It's one thing to, create a prototype in a lab,
Yeah, for sure.
but mass production is where the rubber meets the road, right?
Absolutely.
What else would you be keeping an eye on?
Competition, without a doubt.
Okay.
I mean, Toyota has been in the solid-state battery game for a long time.
Yeah,
And NIO is a rising force in the EV market.
for sure.
QuantumScape really needs to prove they can not only deliver on their tech,
Right.
but also outperform their rivals.
Yeah.
It's like a high-stakes tech race,
Uh-huh.
and there's no guarantee they'll be the first to cross the finish line.
Okay, so we've got the production challenges, we've
Yeah.
got the competition to think about.
Uh-huh.
What about the financial side of things?
Right.
They're not making money yet,
No,
and they're burning through cash to develop this tech.
lots of it.
So how long will investors be patient?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
They do have that runway from the Volkswagen deal,
Right.
which gives them some breathing room.
Okay.
But eventually, they will need to start generating revenue
Right.
and turning a profit.
Yeah.
If those 2028 projections get pushed back,
Uh-huh.
investors might start getting cold feet.
Yeah, that makes sense. The market can be pretty unforgiving.
Absolutely.
Even the most promising companies can stumble if they don't deliver, results.
It happens all the time.
It really all boils down to execution.
Execution is everything.
So if someone's listening to this and they're really intrigued by QuantumScape,
Yeah,
they see the potential, but they also understand the risks.
Right.
What advice would you give them?
Hmm.
How should they approach a potential investment?
I think my advice would be to treat this as a long-term speculative investment.
Gotcha.
Don't go all in.
Right.
Instead, consider it a small piece of a diversified portfolio.
Okay.
It's all about managing expectations
Yeah.
and understanding that this is a bet on the future, not a guaranteed win.
Right. And it's important to remember that even if QuantumScape doesn't achieve those, those sky-high valuations, that could make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
There's still value in investing in companies that are like pushing the boundaries
Absolutely.
of innovation.
Yeah.
They could still change the game, even if it doesn't translate into a massive windfall for, early investors.
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah. They could be game changers.
Absolutely.
That's a great point. We've been so focused on the EV angle that we haven't really explored those broader implications.
Yeah.
It's almost like we've been looking through like a keyhole, but there's a whole panoramic view we've been missing.
Right. You're looking at the tiny picture.
Yeah.
When you need to see the whole thing.
Exactly.
It's a classic example of how a seemingly niche technology can have these ripple effects that we might not even be able to imagine right now.
Wow.
Think about it.
Okay.
Lighter, more powerful.
And safer batteries could revolutionize everything.
Yeah.
From like the smartphones in our pockets to the way we store energy on a massive scale.
Okay, whoa, blowing my mind here. I'm starting to see this whole thing in a new light.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about like faster charging for our cars.
No.
We're talking about potentially reshaping entire industries.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's about seeing that bigger picture and understanding that transformative potential of what QuantumScape is trying to achieve.
Okay, so let's recap, Precision.
Yeah.
QuantumScape, fascinating company. Huge potential to disrupt the EV industry.
For sure.
And maybe even beyond. They've got powerful partners.
Yeah.
Potential upside is enormous.
Massive.
But they're also facing some stiff competition.
Definitely.
They're still pre-revenue.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee they'll achieve those, ambitious goals.
That's a very insightful summary. You hit all the key points.
Appreciate it.
It's a complex situation with a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
There are a lot of unknowns.
Right. So what's the key takeaway here? What should our listeners walk away with after this deep dive? What do they really need to understand about QuantumScape?
I think the most important thing is to realize that QuantumScape is operating at the very cutting edge of innovation.
Okay.
They're trying to solve a very complex problem with a potentially revolutionary solution.
Yeah.
So whether they succeed or not really comes down to risk, timing, and ultimately how much you believe in the potential of this technology.
Right. And if you are considering, investing, do your research.
Lots of it.
Understand the risks involved.
Absolutely.
And don't forget to diversify, Never put all your eggs in one basket.
Never.
Especially when it comes to a company as ambitious as QuantumScape.
Well said. I think we covered a lot of ground here today.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully our listeners are feeling much more informed about QuantumScape.
For sure.
And the future of solid-state battery technology.
Absolutely.
It's a fascinating field. And I, for one, am eager to see how it all unfolds.
Me too.
Who knows? Maybe we'll revisit QuantumScape in a future deep dive.
Yeah.
And see how their story has progressed.
It'd be interesting to see where they are a year or two from now.
That sounds like a plan. I'm always up for exploring the frontiers of innovation.
Me too. All right, this brings us to the end of our deep dive on QuantumScape.
Sad to see it go.
We hope you found it informative.
And engaging.
And, dare I say, a bit mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing for sure.
As always, we encourage you to continue your own research and exploration of this exciting field.
Absolutely. The world of technology is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Who knows what breakthroughs might be just around the corner.
And hey, if there are any companies or technologies you think we should deep dive into, let us know.
We'd love to hear from you.
We love hearing from you guys.
Absolutely. We're always on the lookout for the next big thing.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe your suggestion will be the topic of our next deep dive.
All right, that's it for today's deep dive on QuantumScape. We hope you found it informative and engaging.
And that it left you with plenty to think about.
Exactly. So is QuantumScape the future of energy? It's a gamble, for sure.
It is.
But one with the potential to, reshape the world as we know it.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
That's the question we want to leave you with.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time,
keep exploring.
Keep just diving deep.
And hey, if there are any companies or technologies you think we should deep dive into, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love hearing from you guys.
We're always on the lookout for the next big thing, you know?
Yeah.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe your suggestion will be the topic of our next deep dive.
All right. That's it for today's deep dive on QuantumScape.
It's been a good one. We hope you found it informative and engaging.
And that it left you with plenty to think about.
Exactly. So is QuantumScape the future of energy?
Good question.
It's a gamble for sure.
It is, yeah.
But one with the potential to, reshape the world as we know it?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
That's the question we want to leave you with.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time,
keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.